Okay, I'm excited to chat with you, Julie. So, our team members have been craving some information on how to make samples. And so, we've been chatting behind the scenes and we're going to teach them how to do all kinds of different ways to sample. So, you're the queen of making samples. We already know that.
Well, I think part of it is just getting it in their hands. Our products are so amazing. I think they need to try them. And honestly, 9 out of 10 of them give me orders back, but it's just a follow up that I do with them to make sure that that sample was perfect or what else that we need to try. So, following up with them is a really big piece of sampling, not just getting in their hands. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. Okay, so as we're chatting, I wrote some notes down, but we talked about how the best way to get samples, kind of three ways. One is in person, belly to belly, getting it in their hands. Two was we can purchase samples, okay, and three is make samples. So those are kind of the three topics that we started chatting about as we were like, we need to share this information. So number one is in person. So what were the three ways? Remind me. What were the three ways we said how you can get them in person?
We can do a Sparty. We can bring them into our home, do a Sparty.
Yes.
Do an in-home party with somebody else. Vendor events, face to face with them. Vendor events. Those are the three that I usually am in person with.
And you do quite a few vendor events. Like I feel like you've been having a lot of success with that. So are they taking samples from your vendor events?
I always have something with me that I am offering a sample right on the spot. Again, so that they're not taking the sample away at that point, but I am giving the sample right on their hand so that they're already experiencing right there. But I do make samples for them to take with them at vendor events too. Yes.
Okay. I'm finding that like when people, this is not a vendor event, but when they come into my home, I've got the hand soap and the Dead Sea salt scrub. And when they use it, like they're just amazed how good it is. And then that's when they're like, how can I order some? So I think that would be the same way at vendor events. You're squirting it in their hand and they're
I
having
found
that.
a few that I used Helio on. A lady was telling me that she had arthritis in her hands. And so I said, give me a minute. I grabbed my Helio and I put it on and I let her, rub it in. And she came back to me probably 15 minutes later and said, my hands don't hurt. She said, I want the Helio. And so I love testimonies like that and how quickly it was, which is another testimony of why you want to get it on their body, on their hands, and getting them using it.
Yeah. I find that I've been hearing a lot of testimonials about the Helio specifically, like they immediately feel relief. So if you're doing that and then they have time to walk around, they're like, oh, and they
Yeah.
come immediately back, I'm sure.
I would
That's
also encourage people if you have even in person, like I did an in-home party a couple weeks ago, and a lady showed me a bruise on her foot and how achy it was. And Helio is kind of cool for that, so I put it
Mhm.
on there, and she did the same thing. It was like her pain had gone away. She said, "I haven't been able to do this with my toes to move them up and down for a couple of weeks." And so, yeah, I mean, I just think whether you're in an in-home party or you're in a vendor event, you need to be invest in having something to put
Yeah.
on there.
So when we had a leadership event, I don't know if you remember this story, but Hope Short was there, and that was the first time that she had met Nancy. And she was not feeling good. Hope was not feeling good. She was like, nose was running. She just had a bad, just cold in general. And she tells this story all the time about how she was there and Nancy just whipped out some sticks, like an allergy stick and the Renew stick, and Hope put them on. So like Nancy had her personal ones in her purse and she took them out and Hope's like lathering herself up and it made her feel better at that event. And she still tells that story of how Nancy trusted her and just said, "Here, use my personal one." And she immediately fell in love with Jordan Essentials at that moment because she felt it, immediately felt the power of it. Right?
Yes,
Does
you
that make
remember that.
sense?
Mhm.
Okay, so in person, we totally got that one. Home parties, if you're doing it, or just even having the products in your home when guests come in. Vendor events, you mentioned Sparty parties. I feel like that one in person makes sense. We are in person with people all the time. So the second thing we talked about was actually purchasing samples, and I know you purchased some samples.
Thanks. I got them.
Yes. Okay. So I'm laughing because you're like the queen bee over there of samples. And I was telling you that not made samples yet. Y'all don't kill me, but I've not focused on doing it. And so I'm going to share how I've been doing it, buying them from Jordan Essentials, which I think is an amazing opportunity for us. But then you're going to show how you actually make them. So let me show y'all kind of what I have. I have a little tote here full of all of these little samples. So these I 100% bought on Jordan Essentials website, and actually customers can buy these little packets too. So I'm talking about if you wanted to try the magnesium, add it to your cart. They're 75 cents for us and customers. So they're 75 cents. And then they actually have these cards that you can buy as well. So the card, I think I had one not put together. I was going to show y'all. Oh, yeah, here it is. So this is the card. And I put my sticker on the back of it. This is the same sticker I put on the back of my catalog that has a QR code on it. That QR code takes them to my website. And I just print them at home on my computer. And then you can buy these in a 10 pack as well. And you can just stick it now here. And so I was like, how do I stick it there? So scrapbookers are going to love this. They remember these little zots. They're just round stickies, two-sided stickies. You can use two-sided tape too, I guess, but I wanted it just to be kind of like those gift cards. You know, when you buy a gift card, it has those little dots of glue. That's all it is. So you just put one here and you stick it there, and that's it. That's my sample. So you told me that was, I said that I feel like I'm kind of lazy, but it's really not lazy. You reminded me that it's just smart, using my time wisely. So if I've had to mail it, now I have had these on me and I've just given them to people as I've seen them, but I use this envelope, which fits perfectly this catalog. So I love the size of our catalogs. And then I've been sticking this in there. Now it does take a little bit more of a stamp, first of all, because it's an oversized envelope. But I want to get the catalog to them. And I told y'all that it's the same sticker on the back of here. So I can mail them like this. If you don't know how much it costs, I would encourage you to go into your post office. I know me and you talked about it, Julie, and your post office, two post offices charge you two different things, right?
Right. Yep. And I
Uh,
use those same labels also for my catalogs. They're great labels.
well,
You
it
get
just
a lot
kind
of
of
information on there.
it just kind of is that consistency in your branding, but then it also has that QR code. So they love it. They're going to go want to buy some. Okay. Or if you don't want to mail the catalog, this is just a standard envelope. I just stamped it with my return stamp. And well, that's like a greeting card. You guys probably have old greeting cards, but it fits perfectly too. So this is another idea. So if you're not mailing catalogs, you don't have to because the QR code is here. So I've been just buying them and sending them out that way, which I feel like is the easiest. We do have the Copa Calm ones. I just got these in, and I told you this, Julie. I'm really excited. I bought 20 of these spa day ones.
Huh?
Again, I am not as creative and crafty as you sample maker people, but these are super easy just to buy and keep them on you. So if someone, especially like girlfriends, or you could even put them in as hostess thank you gifts. And I'm
Is
sure
that
you could
bar though?
make your own cards. And I would
A
think you
lotion
build.
bar?
What'd you say?
Have a lotion bar?
Uh, is this the lotion? Yeah, these are the lotion bars. So
Yeah,
they
which
just
is another great. Those I think those are hard to make samples, so that's a great grab from our back office.
Yeah. And I think they're probably too heavy for the medium dots. They do have large dots, but you can totally, I'm just making this up. You could totally make a card of your own, print them on cardstock, stick it there and say something about, thanks for seizing the day with me, or you're going to be sensational. I don't know. I'm making it up. Okay. All right. So let's get into the meat of this, which is what everybody wants to see, and that's you making samples. So tell me about making samples and let's make some.
Let's make some. So honestly, it's not a big deal, but I sit down and I'll put on music or I'll put on a TV show and I will fill. So I take my little containers, which I've showed this before. We have the link for it for you guys. I grab them from Amazon. Um, I'm going to show you, I'm going to make some Copa Calm lotion ones. But I want to make sure, I just grabbed a new one. I want to make sure that they have enough so that they're actually experiencing it. So I usually do 2 pumps into this. So
Okay.
you can see it filled it up. 2 pumps
I'm
of it. I grab the Copacom labels from our back office because it's convenient. When I first started, I was making my own, and my time is precious. These are cheap. So I have gone to grabbing Copacom. They have, I think there's 56 on a sheet, sorry.
I was going
Um,
to look too because I know we can purchase those for sure. That's exactly what I would do. But for people that have great color printers at home, they do give us the template so we could print them. But I've been seeing people they were printed off centered, so
right.
I would just buy them.
What label you're grabbing, what the sheet, how many of the sheet are available. So like Helio's, I think 10 items or 10 stickers per sheet. So it depends
Okay.
on which sample. And then it fits really nice right on that little container. So it's pretty. Don't forget, I'm not going to stick this on because I have it for my Dead Sea salt, but don't forget your information. So I always print this little label, and it's from my handy dandy label maker, which again, I used to write these, and my time turned into be more precious because it was taking me too much time. So I grabbed this label maker. It prints these little guys out. I put it on all my samples. I put it on all my products. So this is a worker for me. And I would just, it fits right across on the bottom. Woo!
Oh, they're so
Right
little.
across on the bottom.
Okay,
So
so
the,
when you put it on, you just kind of wrap it around the bottom,
yep. So my information is there, and it
and they can
doesn't
still open it.
still open. Yeah.
That's
So I
easy.
always am keeping that information in front of them.
And it's your name.
My
Looks like
name,
name.
my website, and my phone number.
Okay, I'm right. I'm taking notes from you, Julie. Two
So the
pumps,
two
name,
pumps.
website, and
Yep.
phone. Okay.
Yep. And
Okay.
again, I used to put just one little pump in there, and I didn't feel like that was enough for them to actually experience it. Two pumps is cheap.
Mm-hmm.
So I do the two pumps. So that is the Copa Calm. I also always include hot sheets. So anytime I'm giving any type of sample, anytime they're buying something, these are workers for us. They're on boards. I print them out at home. I cut them up. But it has great information. It gives the key ingredients. It gives some reasons why they should be using that. So I think our hot sheets are great information for us to be able to give out to them.
Now, so how are you mailing that?
So
I see your,
then, yep. So these little guys, if I'm mailing it this way, now you said you do these, I also do these sometimes because
yeah.
if I don't have any of these prepared, if I haven't sat down, these I always have on hand. So depends if I'm mailing these, I literally put it in here, or I have thank you cards that I will write a cute note and put it in an envelope that way, or I'll put the thank you in here. Just a thanks for being interested in samples. I'm excited for you to try Copa Calm.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be back in touch with you in a couple weeks so we can talk about the sample. Follow up is huge. And if it's not fixing what you like, we'll figure something else out. If it is, let's get you ordering. So that follow-up is huge, but I write a little thank you card and put that in there. Well, so if I'm doing these, I'm just doing a regular envelope.
And
If
one stamp,
one stamp for that.
and they're not coming back to you.
If I'm doing these, I put them in a padded.
Okay.
These are small though, but again, my little thank you card can fit in there. So this one does, this is where the two post offices are different prices, is on this guy. So one will mail it not a package, so it's like $1.80, and one makes me mail it a package and it's $5. So I go to the right
Oh,
post office. It's only $1.80.
yeah.
And it still
Well,
gets, it's still arriving. I think the one puts tracking information, the other doesn't. I haven't had issues with it. So until I do,
okay.
I will do the $1.80.
So this reminds me because I'm going to pull this up. I don't think we talked about this, but I talked about our binder of having that 12-month binder. And I'm just going to pull it over this is August, but this just made me think of this. Let me get on this side right here on this tracker, which this is on boards. And I encouraged everybody to make a 12-month binder, but that customer care is right there. But underneath it, it's got samples.
Yep. And my
So
goal every month is to have that section filled up as well.
12 samples a month. And then there's the thing for follow up. And we've always said fortune is in the follow up. So you're mailing them, but you are following up.
Because it doesn't do you any good to mail them.
Yeah.
Um, you might have a few that are going to get back in contact with you, but it means a lot. I think that you care for your customers, that you're
Mm-hmm.
reaching back out to them. And if that, yeah, again, it may not be the exact thing that they needed, but we might have something else that they do. So
Okay. I love
following up,
that.
building that customer relationship is huge. And that section there, I like to be able to mail 12 of them. So that is outside of my in-person. I want to have 12 additional going out the door.
That I love that. That just was like a light bulb. I'm like, okay. Okay,
And
so let
they're
me go
nothing
back just
either.
oh,
They're
what'd you
like,
say?
these are nothing fancy. So the envelopes, Walmart, Amazon, nothing fancy about the envelopes here. And I
Um,
grab my thank yous at Dollar General, and I think I get 8 for $1. So
okay.
that big expenses there either.
Um, that reminds me, going back to your vendor events, because you do a lot of vendor events. So that follow up, how are you getting their information for those follow ups at vendor events?
So my goal is to try and talk to everybody that comes into my booth so that I can get their information that way. But if I'm busy with somebody, I still have an Excel spreadsheet printed out that says, I'd love for you to try. I give them 4 options samples that they can try, but please fill out this information so that I can be back in contact with you. It's their name, their email. Let's see, I think their name, their email, their phone number, and please tell me what sample you took. So it allows me to, when I call them, hey, I noticed you took the Copa Calm. Tell me what you used it for. So it's just a conversation piece for me, but also I'm getting their contact information if by chance I did miss them at my vendor event. So I don't want to just say, here, everybody take one. I want to make
Mhm.
sure I can build that customer relationship with them and try to figure out, if it didn't work, what can we do? Or if it did work,
Mhm.
awesome. So I always
I
try to
like
get.
I like that you're asking them what sample they took because how many times are we like we can't remember or we're trying to jot it down before the next customer comes into our booth. So like you already have it, and that shows them that they could get other samples too.
Right.
Like you're willing to get them to try things. So I
Well, the
like
other thing
that.
I do at my vendor events is I always have a product in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
As I'm talking with them, I don't have the try me up there. I did it once and I had people just coming back and back and back and back. So this allows me a conversation with them. Would you
Yeah.
like to have a cup of calm? So that's a sample to me is getting a squirt on their hand. And I usually will have, if someone is telling me I have arthritis in my hands like before, I will grab a Helio. So I have lots of our products that I can give them as a sample on their hand. So my conversation is with them, that determines which one I'm squirting on there. But I always have a product in my hand ready to squirt.
Yeah. Okay. And the accountant side of me is saying that's tax deductible. So
Mhm.
go ahead and buy one of all of them. Make that as your try me. You don't have it out in front and center, but those are tax deductions too. So
Are-
that's samples are a big business builder, but also a big tax deduction.
Well, and
So had to put that in there.
if you're a hostess every month for yourself and you're building hostess rewards, you can get those for free as well. So you have a couple
Yes.
different options. Yes, it's always a tax write-off, but host your own monthly parties and you can grab some of these so it's not costing you anything. So a couple different ways.
And with if you're sending out samples and you're following up, and 9 out of 10 times they're purchasing something that I wish I had one. Oh, here it is right here. I got one wrapped up still. The peppermint magnesium. If you have 8 customers on a party, you can get this for free.
So
So if you're doing a
they just
or
changed it.
sorry,
It's
$10.
$10.
Yeah, $10.
Yeah. Yes, it
That
used to be
that if you're doing your follow up, so it could just be 100% your party from your follow ups, and you're
right.
getting this for $10. So
That's a
it's,
lot of samples right there.
I love how they wrap it. I'll unwrap this just in case somebody's watching and they're like, what is that?
Yeah,
This
that's a lot of
is,
samples for $10.
ah, so this is, hostesses can get this for $10 when they have 8 unique customers on a party link. So I'm in my mind already thinking Julie's doing 12 samples, at least 12, and she's following up with all of them. She's even if she got 8 out of the 12. she would have a party to
Mhm.
be able to get that for a
Right.
discount. Okay,
Yep.
sorry, I totally
Follow
got
up.
sidetracked.
Yeah. Follow up is huge. No matter what you're doing. I even do a follow up though for my in person as they,
Yes.
so I'll put another plug for follow up. Okay. So then my little samples, if I'm not mailing them and I have my samples, I grabbed these at Hobby Lobby. After Valentine's Day, there was 40 of them and I think they were a doll. I mean, they were literally basically giving it to, I think it was 80 or 90% off of their Valentine's Day stuff.
Wow.
I grabbed these, they're sweet little hearts, and I like to just hand them to them. It's pretty. I think our stuff is pretty. So I would just put that in there. My business card. I grabbed mine off of Canva. So here's my front, but I also have my QR code on the back so that they can
Brilliant.
write into me. Um, let's see, what else do I put in that? I think that's it. So the thank you would still go in to the little bag. So they always get a thank you card, whether I mail it or I'm hand delivering. They always get my business card. And that would be the lotion side of samples.
That's cool. So you can just hand it to them. And I love that your QR code's on the back of your business card.
So easy. Yeah.
Good.
Okay. So you want to move on. The other one that I'm really sharing right now is our Dead Sea salts. I love our Dead Sea salts. I soak in them often. Um, I'm really sharing that. So this is our big bag. So I grabbed this last December when we had the Dead Sea salt sale. Sugar plum was my favorite. It's heavenly. This is my relaxing, but it adds magnesium. The soaks are fantastic for our bodies. So I want people to experience this also, not just the lotions. I want them to experience this. There's so many ways they can use it for just their feet. They can put it in the shower on a washcloth. They can soak with it. Like, I think our Dead Sea salts are just so beneficial and everybody can use them. I just read somewhere someone did it with their hands because the absorption in your
Oh,
palms. You can do that too. So if you're doing a soak in the bathtub, it takes a quarter of a cup.
okay. For
So,
one bath, for one full-size bath, a quarter of a cup.
and it does give instructions. If you're doing a foot soak, it's 2 tablespoons. So
Okay.
there are instructions on the back of our Dead Sea salts, which I think is helpful. And the full soak is a quarter of a cup. Okay,
Okay.
so I have two pretty different bags that sometimes I use this, sometimes I use this. Both of them came from Amazon. We will give you the links to everything here. This one I thought was pretty because it was green. This is
Mhm.
the first one I got. So both of them have the sealer. If I'm mailing these, I will take a straightening iron and just snap it so it seals this so it's not breaking open.
Okay.
I will do that too. But let's take my quarter cup. I always give them one bath soak, but I tell them if you're not a bath soaker, this will get you 2 foot soaks.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know if I think I heard this somewhere. So if you put a washcloth on your drain in the shower and then put this in there, it's still allowing your feet to absorb the Dead Sea salt. So it kind of plugs the base of your shower.
Yeah.
It allows still the same absorption through your feet. So I share all those different things. So literally a fourth of a cup fits perfect in this one. It'll fit in this also, but it fills it. So it
Okay.
depends on which one you want to use. I did have a lady tell me that this got confiscated one time. I've never had it done because it looks a little interesting.
What does it
Um,
look like, Julie? What?
Not something I would mail, that's for sure.
That could be mistaken for some illegal substance or something, you
Right,
know?
right.
So you know how the mail always says, does this include any illegal substances?
For sure, no.
No.
Yes. Here's my
Okay.
little label. This one
Stick,
says
stick it up to the camera just a little bit closer. Can
I
you?
printed Helio instead of my sugar plum because I
Oh,
was going
you.
to do Helio because I use that weekly, but
So
I'm
you
out.
put the
I'm
fragrance
out.
on there,
I
what
do
it
put the
is.
fragrance on there for them.
Okay. That's smart.
Yeah, but I need Helio because I'm out. And
Okay.
so I stick it right on the front.
Okay.
And then I take my name and information and it goes on the back.
And you're printing both of those from that little label maker that you've got sitting there.
Yep.
Okay.
So then that's the back.
So two labels, a bag, and a fourth of a cup, and that's your sample.
That's my sample. So then when I mail this though, I mail it in my padded.
Sure.
This is it's got the padding inside of it to protect it a little bit. And
Yeah.
but so again, my thank you goes in there. I tell them a little bit of information about the Dead Sea salt. I include their hot sheet. This one is
Oh,
Copa, but you can grab, Helio, whatever your hot sheet is that you're sending. I always include that. My business card again, and then my thank you, and then that goes inside of it.
okay. So no catalog with that specific one. That's just a sample. Your QR code takes them to your website.
Yes, and I will
Okay.
share that with them, like to be able to get back to me. That QR code is so handy.
Yeah.
I do have all my contact information on my on my business card, so it sends them to my Facebook group, my website, email, phone number, so they have different ways to contact me, and then that QR code. So
Love
that's
that.
into that little envelope with my thank you. And so if you're mailing
Perfect.
Dead Sea salt, I would probably recommend into a little bit padded.
Sure.
That is that. Let me see if I forgot anything. I don't think I forgot anything. That's my sample for the Dead Sea salt.
So what are your top four samples, 4 or 5 samples that you give?
I give Helio, Copa Calm, Peppermint. Those are my top three, like magnesium lotion, shea butters. And then I really like to give the Helio and Copa Calm Dead Sea salt
Okay.
um, because of the benefits of them. I
Yeah.
think they're just powerhouse products. So, and those are our heavy collections. So I try to stay there with them.
Well, and I remember Nancy telling us one time if we can get them into loving one of our magnesiums, then they'll start wanting to experience the rest because they're having great success with whatever they've fallen in love with. So I feel like you've got the top ones covered.
Yeah, I
The
agree. I mean, I think I love our shea butters, but that without that magnesium piece, I don't think that's
yeah,
the first thing that's going to draw them. I think definitely the magnesium piece of it, and then maybe they find the other pleasures or self-care with the
sure.
rest stuff too. So I agree with that.
Well, and kind of the sorry, itching my nose. The Dead Sea salts is kind of in alliance with our name, which is the Jordan River. So
Mhm.
Jordan Essentials is named after the Jordan River, which is where Dead Sea salts come from. And so I think that is even an opportunity to tell the story, which is kind
Yeah,
of cool.
I think it's super cool.
Yeah. Um, so really the big thing is on mine, I'm spending 75 cents plus this card. And I think you can buy them in packs of 10. So I don't remember how much it was for 10 of them, but you're making yours and it's way cheaper to do it if you can sit down on a Friday or Saturday night and just make some samples while you're watching your favorite TV show. It sounds like that may be the cheaper way to go for sure.
Well, and if you want to send Dead Sea salts, I grabbed this for $30 last December when we had our sale. So if you think
Yes.
about how many, and I'm enjoying this as well, if you think about how
Yeah.
many samples you can make out of this big, is it 32 ounces? I can't remember. Yeah, 32 ounces. Were they $30? Is that what they were? I
Yeah.
think.
So that big bag is only available if history serves this well twice a year. So they have the little bags, but the big bags only come around twice a year and it's like one of the biggest sales because people grab multiples of them.
And sometimes scents that you can't get the rest of this,
Yes.
or the big bag ones. So I grabbed these, again, my Helio's gone. I just ran out of that. So I'm hoping
Oh
history falls
no.
apart in there. But I grab a big one because you can get so many samples out of this. And this is your fiscally responsible financial, which I'm
Wait.
always, I don't waste much money. I'm pretty responsible with. So that's a big deal for me is to
Yeah.
grab that.
And it's tax deductible. So
And
if
it's tax deductible.
you have to take a bath so you can get your research and say, yes, this is really good. Okay, and now make some samples. So 100% tax deductible.
100%. All of this, 100% tax.
Yes. Yes, yes. And I love that you and many of the other leaders on our team have done samples and are hearing results. Like you're getting positive responses. And the sales will come when they start trusting you and falling in love with the product. So I feel like you're giving them the product, but you're also giving them some knowledge with that hot sheets. You're doing customer care with the follow up because you're keeping a list. So it's a process, and it's you can't do one without the other, right? So
Right, right. And a big piece of me, I love the people part. So I always tell people, I love that you get me. I love mailing it to you, but I love that you get me. So I
yeah.
love the in-person piece of that. Yeah.
That's good. Well, I'm excited. So we talked about in person. I love that you shared that you always have a pump. You're ready to put it on people's hands. The do it yourself parties and the Sparties and the home parties and all that. That's an easy one. They can experience multiple things. So I feel like if we're doing home parties and in person events, they're going to get to experience more than just one sample. They're going to get to experience a lot. So and the vendor events, you're building your network that way. You're bringing in new people that maybe you would have never met before that event. So I feel like in person is kind of the way to go.
Deal.
But that fortune is in that follow up, whether you're buying the samples or making the samples. It's the key to still getting back, in person, belly to belly with them. So,
Agreed. And a lot of my samples come from my customer group also, whether they come from events, but people in my customer group. So I will have customers that haven't ordered, they're seeing my post, and then they'll comment about, I'd like to try a sample.
okay.
So I encourage people to stay consistent there too, because they're seeing and then now they're requesting, but it does take time.
Yeah. Well, and
So
if your goal is to give out 12 samples a month, like how are you attracting people in your customer group by saying, I'm sending out 10 samples this month. Who would want
I'm
one? Or
actually going to try a new thing that I'm going to try with some 2 ounce bottles. Normally, a lot of my stuff is educational, interactive in my customer group, but I am going to try something that I am going to give some 2 ounce bottle samples away
okay.
to customers. So that's something they're on their way. That's something I'll be posting and sharing soon. Sometimes that's why I kind of bumped up how many pumps were in this, uh,
Mm-hmm.
just for them to be able to experience that full 2 ounce. So I don't have all the details yet there, but I am going to try
Yeah.
something new for some new customers that maybe they've been watching, but they haven't quite grabbed yet. I'm kind of hoping to grab them.
Okay. And that 2 ounce bottle can go, it's TSA approved. It can go in their bag. If they're traveling, they may take it with them. And I think they're $10.50 retail, but consultants would get 25% off of that. So it would
Right.
be cheaper even than that.
Yes, and I
So
for sure carry all of those when we travel. So the two
yeah.
ounce is really nice to be able to do that.
I know I have a little, I think I've showed this, but like here's my little baggie of all I put J or JP on the bottom of all of them so they know that these are my personal ones. But like I have a bag just of the sticks. I don't know what I'm gonna need, but I'm gonna need one of them eventually. So well,
Yep. Yep. So yeah, so
Julie, this
I'll keep you posted on how that 2 ounce bottle
yeah. People
adventure.
do giveaways all the time. And so I think that's a good investment. And then the follow up is give me your testimonial, right? So I can share in the group how the 2 ounce helped you. And that gives them a little bit of consistency. So you challenge them to use it 5 days in a row or something and give you a testimonial, which is cool. That's part of it. It's good. Julie, this is so good. Okay, so I feel like when our team watches this, we're going to give them all the links that you mentioned. We're going to share some other ideas from other leaders and team members that have shared. And I feel like sampling is a way that can help build their business. So if they're looking for new customers, if they're looking for just helping customers try their products, you showed very easy ways to make samples at home. And how fun would that be to do on a Friday night with your kids or something? Get the family in on it.
Yeah, or if it's a day that it's raining or day, that it's
Yeah.
snowy. I don't want that yet. But yeah, I mean, those are the times that I will sit down for 30 minutes and just fill them. So it's not
Yeah.
like it's an afternoon. It's 30 minutes of sitting down and intentionally filling.
I
So
love it. I love it.
yeah,
Well, Julie, thanks for doing this. I feel like we're brainstorming and we really wanted to share this with everybody. So doing this quick little video, I think will be helpful for our team. So
I agree.
All right, I want to stop the recording. I cannot wait to hear what they all think about it.
Happy
Okay,
sampling.